So it was great, and clearly you have kind of a niche style that you feel really comfortable with, and you embrace that. And a lot of this music, wait for you guys were around. So that's the thing. Something that's trouble with as musicians is we're always reaching back to an era of music that predates our own lives, and we want to think that we grow up with the music that makes the biggest impression on us. And for you guys to be looking, I mean, for me, this is actually, even a little earlier than I spent, but, it's the patent stuff is incredibly complex. And yet there's a certain aesthetic to it, especially from the rhythm section. It's not funk, it's not pop, it's not straight jazz, it's kind of all these elements with a very sensitive playing. Not to mention just the floatiness of so many upbeats across both the first and last tune. Not to mention the odd meter stuff. Now what you're doing is a reduction from the
So our big band is actually playing with Bob Curnow arrangement.
Right.
And one day, Pat Metheny plays with a small ensemble, does it with the chanting, which
where's our vocalist?
Yeah, where'd he go?
It's not a melody that is easy to sing. It's all over the place.
And you learn the same syllables that Pedro Aznar sang on the original Letter from Home album. So, we thought it would be cool to try and do it sort of in the small ensemble style like Pat did, and with our big band.
That's great.
Yeah.
And clearly you guys are listening not only to that original arrangement, but also milestones a little bit. There's some chords from there, from the original. So this is middle school. So what?
Don't let the mustaches fool you. I told him all this shit. Most of these things you grow mustache, I can grow my
can't even grow a mustache. There's so much hair.
They're middle school. It's true. We brought their birth certificate along to prove it.
So what was your first instrument?
Clarinet.
I'm a saxophone player, but I started on clarinet, and believe me, you have the advantage as opposed to saxophone players who are trying to learn clarinet later on. So clarinet is such a great foundation for playing saxophone, and I appreciate the fact that you're not a doubler. You have to play two instruments. You're a clarinet player and you're a saxophone player. So I think that's important to think about that when you're playing multiple instruments, that you're not, some people like the term doubler can kind of get a bad rap because it means you play a lot of things but not themselves. But, I feel like you approach the clarinet as a clarinet player. So that's why I kind of tracked it. It seemed like, okay, it seems like probably a clarinet player playing saxophone. When did you start playing saxophone?
So summer straight.
Okay. A year and a half has been playing alto sax? Okay. We're all sufficiently humble. Tell me about soprano sax. So, a lot of times we see tenor players, altering way shorter, playing soprano and tenor key. So what was your attraction to that? Or did it just, they needed someone to play soprano? Sometimes it's a very practical
arrangement has a soprano part,
Yes.
so we needed the soprano.
And the clarinet is the other one.
Yeah. And our other players will be, they will be doubling or not, but even our managers, a couple of our managers play clarinet and bass clarinet, and they're going to help us out as well.
Yeah, and that creates just a sound that's, it becomes a little bit more on the third stream, I guess, when you're integrating these kind of orchestral elements. And I think that was part of what, kind of Metheny has always would have used. I just noticed the purple theme across.
Yeah, it's their school colors.
Okay. We're the Cougars.
Like animal food.
You really mean. So tell me about your background becoming a blacksmith, because I hear the rhythmic precision of a drummer, but I hear the harmonic complexity of the piano.
So, I started as a drummer,
Okay.
and then in 7th grade I decided to try out the microphone, and I liked it, so now this is where I am.
No. That's great.
Piano, playing jazz chord you want. Go ahead.
C alter.
C alter, yeah, so what does that include?
C flat 5, sharp 5, 7, and the flat 9.
Trying to double. And then we're going to put the third in there. So C7 coming from right there, the third and the seventh, and then we've got the altered flat 5, sharp 5, that's a flat 9 there.
Aaron has a gift where when he was younger, he had a keyboard, and the keyboard would be like the demo mode setting, and he would listen to it play different keys, and it would light up the chords, and his brain would memorize the chords. And not only can you do that, you can put the metronome on any metronome mark, you can put it on any click. He can tell you it's quarter note equals this or that. This is why he gives the tempo to our saxophone player, and that's how they get their rock solid tempos. So, I think he's a very special musician. He's been studying with jazz pianists now, because here's the lick, you can play it.
Yeah, I heard. You know, definitely the vocabulary was there, and using the technique used in the chord mouth.
Yeah.
You make your calluses build up. Calluses on your fingers from the.
No.
Well, my saxophone players, do we have a callus on your thumb rest? These are the really weird things that we use to play. So yeah, and by the way, just the pitch across the wings, which is so great, is, it's often precarious having to tune not just 3 separate instruments, but also tuning the instruments that are perfectly and like on the melody, like lovely phrasing there and matching the pitch with the and just also the fact that you're kind of all taking ownership of so much of the music you're playing, cutting off, dictating tempo, counting off the band, letting it count, and just setting up the band. Some of those things are very deliberate that make us play that. When I say us, being, a saxophone player, I love having that sense of just foundation. So much of there's an old adage that, right? A lousy drummer can make a great band sound well. But a great drummer can make a lousy band sound pretty good. You have that much influence over not just the quality of the puppet coming out, but certainly just the time that they play. And most definitely that sound. So all these things, we assume the time, but all these other elements, assuming things you can do back to them, great. I like this a lot of communication across the band. I wouldn't mind seeing more of that. We're bound with mice and scans and stuff like that. But, I see some with a little bit of body language, moving your body. No, okay. And that's okay. That's, we embrace the things that we have in our program. I mean, this is with is they're all about wind ensemble and chamber orchestra. So, their blended balance and tone is great, but they don't necessarily have the interpretation or like the fire that like the marching band. One of the things about marching band that I will say, I don't work with marching band that much, but the integration of time and groove in your body, it's dancing, and especially with bass players. I know watching a bass player move, where's our bass player?
I won the bet. I said the judge would say something about you got moved for it.
Well, I know what I said because, the drummer is going to be moving, because just out of necessity of having to execute what they're doing back there, if you move in sync with them, think about how the synchronicity is going to happen between the drums and bass. And that's that special relationship that happens in the rhythm section. Drums and bass, you want to be communicating with each other and having eye contact with each other. So the more, especially with jazz combo, it's less about reading the specific part. And you guys have some range elements over here. Rhythm section is so much freedom over here. The more you can memorize what you're doing and start looking at the other musicians around you, the more fun it's going to be. Because all of a sudden, it's like you're looking at each other, it's like, that's pretty good. I mean, have these moments when you want to embrace when things are happening. Because when you get to that note that's perfectly in tune, when you get to that groove that's locking in, those are the moments you just want to live in. Those are the moments that, like, all of a sudden these elements are out of focus suddenly lock in, and it's just when something is grooving, you don't need to fill, you don't need to do anything but you just live in that groove. And the same thing with the note or a chord that's ringing, you can playing one chorale, one sustained note, either in unison or harmony, but it's perfectly balanced and perfectly tuned, all of a sudden it's exciting just to be doing that one thing because all of a sudden that's elements. Yeah. And a lot of that's coming from breath. You know, as a wind player, again, I think we have different roles throughout the whole band. We all have different roles, and at different times that changes from being a section player to being a soloist. But certainly as a wind player, connecting with each other, connecting with your instrument, a lot of that is coming from moving the air through your body. These are things that you know, but don't underestimate how much that that element can influence so many parts of your body, specifically the tuning, the dynamic, the articulation, with the connectivity across the entire form. There was, I guess it was on Angela, that there was kind of a dialogue back to saxes playing different lines. Is that the one I was thinking of?
Yeah.
Okay. So there was it was a sax duet in my mind, and it was very, kind of angular and melodic, but I think having the airstream really connecting through it and not thinking of it as 12 separate notes that are changing pitches, but if it's a slurred line, giving you one note, it just happens to change pitch. You're moving your fingers, but the breath is going to be on the sustained note while the fingers are moving. So that requires keeping the embouchure in a position that will accommodate all the notes. And rest players, of course, you have issues with this too in terms of, okay, are you shifting? Ideally we want the sense of seamlessness and being able to play from the bottom to the top of the one. Your sound is lovely, and the stuff that we had in with the tenor, often very, often match with each other because you play different singing range. So you might often be playing the same notes. More times than not, you'll be able to hear what the trombone is doing, you might not see the saxophone. But we all try to make our best effort. But again, I would love to see, more just when you practice sitting down.
Are you talking about practice?
Practicing, yeah. There's a lot of, everyone has a way, like the way everyone studies in a different way, and everyone learns music in a different way, everyone practices different. So what's going to work for one person may not work for someone else. There are certain tropes as educators that we like to start with, that this is a good place to start. If it doesn't work, you pivot to something else. So some students will have a whole process of like, okay, I start with scales, and then I move into, long tones, and then scales, and then I do sight reading, and then I do etudes, and then I work on my repair piece, and then you might have a very structured practice session. Others are just sort of, they kind of jump right in and they jump into different things, and that might work for them as well. I think as young musicians, we want to try and find that structure. But one part of the practicing should be a little bit more free. And that's when you stand up and literally just kind of wander around the room while you're playing your instrument. Close your eyes. Practice in front of a mirror. Watching and being tuned into the ergonomics of your instrument, anyone an athlete here, anyone who sports or anything like that? So you've probably been called to your attention the difference between something being sore, a sore muscle if you're running or whatever, throwing, baseball or something like that, versus pain. And these are things that we need to tune into as musicians, because the injury, if you're continually doing something wrong, it could actually injure you and prevent you from playing in the future. So practice in front of a mirror. Record yourself playing too, just as a different thing. It seems a little kind of like, how do I sound like that? But all of a sudden you might find yourself being your own worst critic. But practicing in front of a mirror, all of a sudden you realize you do something weird with your arm, or your embouchure might be at an angle or something like that. So it's good to kind of get a sense of being able to step back from your own playing and observe it as though you're someone else. But there's so many things that are happening that are wonderful here. I just want you to kind of do more of what you're already doing, and that is, I see a lot of body language here. I see the communication. I think all of that could happen even more and even less rigid, be structured with the music. And I think the quicker you can get away from, even if it's just there and you're just kind of looking at it every once in a while, just the feeling that you're not just playing here, but you're playing, kind of everywhere. So we always want to remember that we have these relationships between bass and drums, as I said, between you and your instrument, learning your instruments better. So when you can come together, all of a sudden you're not focused on how to play something, just to play it. And then also that relationship that happens between you as the performers and you folks as the audience. If you guys are enjoying it, Okay? You might be nodding your head, you might be bobbing along, you might be smiling a little bit, and all of a sudden they look at you guys and they're like, okay, I guess we're doing something right. And they might play it a little bit better. And when they play it a little bit better, you might enjoy it a little bit more. This weird, and I don't mean to be overly dramatic about it, but there is this kind of symbiotic relationship you have between all of you, because these guys practice in a band room somewhere, I guess, rehearsal room somewhere. You practice by yourselves at home. No one's around. No one's listening. No one's applauding. But it's different when you guys are here, and you guys play differently when these guys are here. So I was asked to single out one musician from the entire band that was exceptional and kind of caught our attention, and it was like I was sitting back there, and it was like so impossible to do that because all the solos were great. I love the bass on the last tune. I mean, just the sound of it was just glorious. So, and had that kind of connectivity that I really love in a lyrical solo. But I definitely tuned into the fact that there were so many incredible musical elements from our lives
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate that. And keep going.
I love it.